If you read the title of this video and you recognize this bottle, you know this one's going to hit close to home. We're talking about diabetics and whether it's safe to drink alcohol or not. You're not going to want to miss this one. And to make sure you don't miss any future videos, make sure you do the big three: like, subscribe, and comment away. Here we go. I am blown away that the most popular video on alcohol and diabetes on YouTube is one that claims to have found the best alcohol for diabetics to drink. Let me paint a picture for you on how ridiculous I find that to be. Let's say you are a seasoned skydiver with your own YouTube channel, and for your next jump, you have the option of taking one of 5 parachutes to teach your viewers about, all of which you know are broken. They simply won't function as a parachute. You're now going to teach your fellow skydivers which of those 5 parachutes they should use for their next skydiving trip. And the result, once they jump out of the plane, should be a surprise to absolutely no one. So I am shocked to learn that over 1 million diabetics opted to watch a video on the best alcohol for them to drink, when the resulting health crisis is just as guaranteed as jumping out of an airplane with a parachute you know will not open. So how do I know this? 2 reasons. First, I'm going to walk you through what happens in the body of a diabetic when they drink alcohol. No emotions, no spin, just science. And if that's not going to be enough, I'm also going to walk you through the role that alcohol played in my own brush with death, the impact of that moment in time that I, along with my wife, will be dealing with for the remainder of my hybrid diabetic time on Earth. So let's get into what happens to diabetics, both type 1 and type 2, when they drink alcohol. I'm going to stick with 5 known outcomes. It seems like a manageable number to me, although there are plenty more. And here they are in no particular order. First, alcohol blocks the intake and usage of many diabetic medications, including GLP-1s, metformin, and even insulin itself. All these medications are intended to moderate blood sugar inside the body, which already goes low when you drink alcohol. So if you happen to pass out from hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, your friends that you're out with might think you're just tired or maybe just a little too drunk, when in fact you're well on your way to a coma. And metformin and alcohol are known to form a deadly condition in the blood called lactic acidosis, a close cousin to the very condition that killed every single type 1 diabetic up until the 1920s, which is diabetic ketoacidosis. GLP-1s, or semaglutides, think Wegovy, Ozempic, and Trulicity, already have pancreatitis listed as a side effect. It's actually the #1 side effect and listed on every single dosage that's given. Combine those with alcohol? Well, you've just created the very recipe that landed me in an ICU for 2 months, which I'll go into later and have made a video about already, which you can watch here. Since alcohol blocks insulin from acting, you actually run the risk of overtreating yourself. You took too much insulin, not realizing that the drinking was going to lower your blood sugar. Or you didn't take enough insulin, not recognizing that once the alcohol is out of your system, your blood sugar is going to go on an extreme rise, or you're going to go hyperglycemic. Next up, well, the calories from alcohol are stored as fat in the liver, making you even further insulin resistant. Have you heard the term fatty liver disease? This is the condition we're talking about. Cirrhosis of the liver, to be exact. In time, your liver simply cannot moderate the storage or release of glucose into the bloodstream, and it becomes so clogged with fat and toxins that you actually just eventually die. Now, speaking of the liver, as an organ, did you know that it's completely incapable of multitasking? Because of the toxicity of literally any amount of alcohol, the liver has to stop the life-supporting work that it does inside of your body and devote its attention to getting all the alcohol out of your system. So while you're drinking, managing your glucose goes on the back burner for your liver, and your blood sugar can drop significantly. If you drink often or regularly enough, you could actually mask insulin resistance and even diabetes, a situation of which a few of the early subscribers to this channel, they themselves experienced and have described. And even once you've stopped drinking for that night and you're ready to check out and you think your blood sugar's in check and you fall asleep, your sugars could actually be artificially low. And once you're asleep, you're incapable of moderating either a hyperglycemic rise as the alcohol leaves your system, or even worse, a hypoglycemic low. And that can result in permanent damage or, again, you just simply not waking up. Next up, and stay with me here, we're almost finished, but no one in the history of drinking ever has seen their motor skills or judgment improve over a night of drinking. Now you combine that with the careful and precise measurements of medications that both type 1 and type 2 diabetics require, be it shots, insulin pump management, or timing of their pills, and you can see how over a night of drinking, you can take the wrong pills at the wrong time, too many or too little of the right pills, or misjudge or incorrectly calibrate a shot, all of which just result in basically you being a skydiver with one of those 5 parachutes we talked about earlier. Fifth, and again, this is in no particular order, is kidney disease and end-stage renal failure. You see, as a rule, and I've included the evidence of this in the show notes, diabetics develop scarring in the millions of little filters that make up the kidney, called nephrons. And as these begin to fail, unfiltered protein and creatinine spill back into the blood, resulting in just 2 possible outcomes. First, end-stage renal failure, or 2, CKD, chronic kidney disease. So, you're welcome to have as many drinks as you like, just as long as you fit them in between your dialysis appointments. And I've also included a link to the kidney transplant waiting list in the United States for those diabetics that just absolutely, positively have to make sure that they're able to drink. So that's just 5 of the dangers of drinking as a diabetic. Let's go back to that skydiving comparison from earlier. Now, when you jump out of the airplane, it actually doesn't matter what portion of that parachute failed. Was there a hole in the fabric above you? It doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. Did one of your risers snap or the buckle on the pack break? It doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. So did you drink a lot or just a little? It doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. Did you pick a no carbohydrate bourbon over a syrup-filled fruity martini? It doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. This is coming off very one-sided. And if you've made it this far in the video, hearing that you should never ever drink again is probably not the answer you were looking for. But I've walked this road myself, and by nothing short of a miracle, I'm alive to tell you about it. You see, my last drink was February the 5th of 22. And I know that because later on that night, I checked myself into the emergency room with the worst stomach pain of my entire life. And I did not check out until April the 1st, having lost 80 pounds, a good portion of my pancreas, survived necrotizing pancreatitis that had led to a perforated bowel, which then led to sepsis. And the life-saving operation to correct all of that, I developed a MRSA infection and ended up unable to even walk for the better part of 6 months, and am now a lifelong hybrid or type 1.5 diabetic. Having another drink or smoke, and man did I love bourbon and cigars, was explained to me would be like playing Russian roulette. It could be the next drink that I have, or it might be the 300th drink that I have. But one of those is going to kill me. Which brings me back to this bottle of Blanton's that I've so stubbornly hung on to. At first I kept this bottle because I was proud to say that I finally got my hands on one of the bottles of this rare bourbon that I so much enjoyed. But now I keep this bottle as a reminder that the next time I jump, that chute probably is not going to open. Now, what do I want you to do with this information? I don't know. It's an emotional issue. There are social connections that are at risk for you if you stop drinking. There's stress coping mechanisms that are at risk for you if you choose to not drink. There are even religious and cultural ramifications if you choose to not drink. I get it, I really do. But none of these things are going to matter if you're stuck on a dialysis machine or worse. And I've told you from the beginning that I'm going to tell you the truth on this channel and not just things that you want to hear or perhaps become clickbaity. So don't drink. It's not safe. Not now, not ever. That's the truth.